I used to write my sermons on Saturday night, stomach tight, heart racing, just hoping I could finish something before Sunday. Now, I follow a simple rhythm that gives me time to pray, to think, and to write, and still have energy for my family. In this video, I will break down a 4-day sermon preparation process that will provide the much needed space in ministry. If that sounds good to you, stick around. I didn't come up with this overnight. It's something I built slowly, week after week, out of exhaustion, honestly. But now it's second nature. 4 focused days that help me preach from peace, not panic. There's a link in the description below where you can get this free 4-day sermon prep worksheet. And it all starts with the day I used to skip, the one that changed everything. Day 1, research and gather day. This is where everything begins, but it's also where I don't rush. I open the passage I'll be preaching and I read it slowly, several times. Not to teach it, just to hear it. I'll read it in a few translations. I might listen to it read aloud on an app. I want the text to sink in before I dissect it. Then I move into the background, the historical context. Who's speaking? Who's listening? What's the tension underneath the words? I'll use tools like commentary, Bible dictionaries, or a Bible website. But I'm not trying to build anything yet. I'm just gathering what God is already saying. I've used several different methods, but my favorite is a whiteboard on a wall. I would begin on day 1 writing ideas that would stay on that board throughout the week. I'm not crafting a sermon, I'm collecting pieces of a story that I haven't finished hearing yet. This day feels quiet, it feels powerful. It reminds me that the word works. Day 2, structure and shape. Once I've listened thoroughly, it's time to give the message a backbone. I take all of the notes from day 1 and start asking, what's the one thing this sermon is really about? That's my big idea, the thread that runs through everything. Then I shape the flow. Where's the moment of tension? Where's the moment of hope? Where does the gospel break through? I start placing stories, tensions, moments of stillness. I imagine how I want people to feel in each part of the message. I'll work through my 4-part sermon blueprint until I get to the end, the introduction, the exploration, the application, and the invitation. And by the end of this day, I get a full outline, not a perfect. And for the first time that week, I start to feel peace. If you'd like a copy of this sermon blueprint, a link is provided in the description below. Day number 3, write and refine day. This is where the message finds its voice. I open up my outline and start writing, not like an academic essay, but like I'm writing to one person I love. I fill in the blanks, I write my transitions, I hear the sermon in my head as I write. I think about someone in my church who's grieving, someone who's doubting, someone who's quietly hoping I'll say something that helps, and I write for them. I'll often speak sections out loud as I go. If it doesn't sound like something I'd say across the dinner table, I cut it out. I'm not aiming for polished perfection, just honest clarity. By the end of this day, I'm not guessing anymore. The message feels alive. It's not just on the page, it's now in my spirit. Day 4, rehearse and rest. This day is sacred. It's quiet, it's uncluttered. I don't write anymore, I just rehearse. I stand in my office or walk around my backyard and I preach. Not to impress, just to hear. I notice what feels natural and what doesn't. I make a few final edits. I tweak that one transition that didn't quite land. I print my notes, prepare slides if I need them, and then I rest. I sit still and I pray. I picture people walking into the sanctuary. I ask God to soften hearts before a word is spoken. And I thank Him not just for the message, but for the peace I didn't used to have. I don't show up empty anymore on Sunday because I gave myself room to breathe and He filled it. I don't know your schedule. I don't know how heavy your week is. I don't know when your day off is. But I do know this. If you don't have a rhythm that gives you room to listen, your sermons will start to feel more like pressure than a calling. So try these days, research and gather, structure and shape, write and refine, rehearse and rest. It's not magic, but it's enough. And if this rhythm helps you, if even in one part of it lifts a little bit of the weight, would you let me know? Drop a comment below. I believe many pastors need to hear they're not alone. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to be notified when I upload videos just like this one. I want to invite you to watch this video next where I'll walk through the 4-part sermon blueprint. See you there.